I was an E1, that's the lowest enlisted that you can get. And went through E7, which is chief. Then I made W1, which is warrant officer 1.
Okay.
Then I made W2, which is chief warrant officer. Then I made lieutenant JG, and then I made lieutenant. And my primary function was nuclear power submarines. Rode those for 8 years, and then got commissioned and went to the submarine tender that took care of them. Then I went to deep sea diving school. So I was one of the nuclear repair officers and the diving officer. So
that's impressive.
Hey, had a good time, my bud. Let me tell you. And if you want to have fun in the military, don't drink. Watch all the drunks.
Just watch them fall down.
Oh man.
That's funny.
I was at the officers club one night and went up and ordered 2 Cokes. And the bartender's, "You want what?" And there was this big voice behind me. He says, "You heard the man." So the guy got me the 2 Cokes, and I turned around and it was the Marine Colonel. It was the commander of the Marine Battalion on the base. And I did a real exciting time we had. My wife and I went to the Marine birthday ball. Got invited, and sailors normally don't get invited. But we were training Marines and scuba diving. So the colonel invited me. What a great time.
Yeah.
Really good time.
Was there any like sort of rivalry between different branches like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, every branch thinks they're the best.
Yeah.
That's part of the training. And particularly among the junior enlisted and officers. And now once you get to have some seniority or some years in, you realize that, hey, the guy in the Air Force, he's doing a job that's different than yours.
Yeah.
But he's trying to do it just as well as you're doing yours. And the Navy thinks, most of the people were in the Navy because they didn't want to do a lot of walking and sleeping in foxholes. So you join the Navy, get what we call 3 hots and a flop.
Yeah.
That means 3 hot meals and a clean bed.
Yeah.
And the spin-off, or the sidetrack of that, is you're at sea a lot. When you're at sea, you don't have your family. But if you're in the Army and you're on deployment, you don't have your family either.
That's true.
And so it's, everything's got a trade-off. But I went because the Navy had best schools. And because I went to school for almost 2 years.
I heard you say that.
Yeah. And now they didn't teach us English, and they didn't teach us literature, but we went to school for 8 hours a day in nuke school. And for about 2 weeks we studied nuclear physics, 8 hours a day. Then you had homework.
Yeah.
Now most of the time you'd be studying, you might have a class in metallurgy for an hour, class in electrical theory for an hour, class in radiochemistry for an hour or 2, a class in what we call health physics, which was radiation protection, for a while, and then you'd have some physics and some math. But that was 6 months long, and it was tough.
I can imagine.
Because, I graduated from high school down here in Kentucky, and a lot of the people in my class had 2 and 3 years of college.
Mhm.
So, it was, pretty tough.
How did they, are there aptitude tests to select who gets to go in there?
Yeah. Before you go in, this was back 50 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Before you went in, you took a test. And based on that test, you would qualify for certain programs.
Mhm.
And I qualified for the nuclear power program. And when I enlisted for 4 years. And I enlisted with the agreement that when I got nuclear power school, I would extend for 2 years.
Mhm.
Now, it didn't guarantee me that I'd get through nuclear power school. It only guaranteed me that I would go there.
Mhm.
And if you get into a program like that and you flunk out, you still serve the extra 2 years.
Oh, so in a lower type
Well,
thing.
if you flunk out of that school, then, instead of being a nuclear trained person, you become an auxiliaryman, which takes care of the non-nuclear stuff.
Oh, okay.
But you can still ride a submarine,
Mhm.
but you're just in a different position. But and then when you're in boot camp, you take a bunch of tests, and that pretty much determines if you're going to be an electrician, a machinist mate, which takes care of turbines and diesels and all that kind of stuff, or if you're going to be uh, um, an engineman, which takes care of diesel engines, or at that time they had a rate called I-Seaman, which was interior communications.
Mhm.
So all these tests determine which area that you go into. It's still the nuclear power, but you might be um, electronics technician, which obviously takes care of electronics, and
Mhm.
or you might be a machinist mate, which takes care of the turbines and diesels and all that. So there's a lot of testing.